What we need to do is start to organise workers on a transnational basis.
But are they doing fixed-term contracts or
full-time contracts?
Full-time contracts, right? Okay.
We're still taking on agency as well.
Okay. Scott?
Yeah, probably a couple of points. Okay. I'll try and keep it relatively brief, Chair. I will concentrate on the industrial dispute. If they don't want to consult on it, and you've got a grievance procedure there that contains a status quo clause that says no change to terms and conditions until such times as the procedure is exhausted, that's a pretty powerful tool. My name's Scott Walker. I've worked in the meat industry for over 25 years. I'm currently employed at Vion Food Group, Cambuslang. It's a poultry site employing approximately 350 workers. I'm on full-time release there for trade union duties and activities as a Unite the Union convener. As a convener at the site, I'm directly responsible for the day-to-day running and administration of the trade union. And that will include grievances, disciplinary hearings, wage negotiations. If wage negotiations aren't going well, then it could be around coordinating industrial action around the site, a whole host of issues. There are 13 stewards on site, and they all have different roles representing workers in various areas of the factory. They're all on the Shop Stewards Committee. They have specific roles in terms of equality, for example, would be one issue, a youth officer. So there's a whole division of labour there. It's certainly not about an individual, it's about a team. Yeah, well, I started in the meat industry over 25 years ago. I came into the site as a process worker, which basically means anything within reason that the employer can ask you to do. I worked in a whole range of different processing lines across the site. Cold, wet, noisy, very physically intensive labour. I became involved in the trade union from day one. I joined the trade union. I had been a trade union member in my previous job and had been involved. Now I have to think about wage negotiations. I have to think about how I represent workers, how I deal with wage negotiations. And in some sense, it's easier to do that because you're not involved in the physical labour that you once were. In others, it's a much longer day for me. You don't get to switch off in the way you used to previously. I would work 8 till 4:30 previously on a production line. Now, excuse me, now you're taking phone calls at 10 o'clock at night. With new age media, it's emails coming at you constantly, it's Twitter, it's Facebook, and I love all that, don't get me wrong, but it has extended my working day, but it's a different type of working day. This is a demonstration outside Brown Brothers. Brown Brothers are a meat company. They supply meat product to Tesco. Brown Brothers were trying to force their employees to clock in and out every time they went to the toilet. We suggested to Tesco that they had an obligation to workers within their supply chain, and that we presented them with a golden toilet to say that you're the worst employer in the world for toilet breaks. I think one of the biggest difficulties we face is the casualisation of labour across the industry. You know, and to be fair, that's not solely within our industry, but employers are seeking to use casual agency labour, predominantly migrant workers, very often paid poorer terms and conditions than existing workers. The employer is very much engaged in a race to the bottom. They recognise that by exploiting migrant workers, that drives down the terms and conditions of existing workers. So that's a big challenge for us.